Hello everyone, welcome back to the NALCS for Game 4, where FlyQuest and Golden Guardians are set to face off. We're going to jump right into who's playing on stage. Selecting the blue side is going to be FlyQuest. Their top laner is Flame, their jungler Santorin, Keen in mid, Wild Turtle, and JJ. In that bottom and support roles with Coach St. Vicious.
And facing them on the red side is going to be Golden Guardians. In the top lane, Lorlo. Contracts, your jungler, mid laner, Mickey, bot and support going to be Deftly and Matt with Coach Tyler.
It's going to be a fun one to watch for. It's so far been a pretty impressive start, all things considered, for Golden Guardians. Yes, they dropped a game to Echo Fox. They did fail to convert some early game leads, but still 2-2, so much better than when they started.
Yeah, definitely the case. I think there has been really marked improvements over spring, and even in their losses, they have looked more competitive. You know, you talk about Golden Guardians against Echo Fox. They were up a couple, 1,200 gold at 10 minutes, and Lorlo really was put in this incredible position where he could have carried the game. He had 4 or 5 early kills. He got 2 red buffs before about 8 minutes, but he wasn't able to close out. And, that being said, they're still miles ahead of where they were from spring. And I felt like Golden Guardians in spring, the only way they ever were able to win was individual performances. In summer, it feels like they're more of a team. Yeah,
I mean, it took them 5 weeks to find 2 wins. They've gotten 2 wins at the end of at the beginning of the second week here in the summer split. So certainly an improvement there. Golden Guardians, of course, hoping to bounce back. They are taking on FlyQuest. This is a team who squeaked by just barely for their first win last week off of kind of a throw.
Yeah, it really was. They beat Optic, but it was, I think, a lot closer of a game than they had hoped. You do have to give some credit to Keen, who has been playing well and really did look good on Talia. But FlyQuest doesn't feel like they've really found their identity yet at this point in the summer split. There was a lot of talk about, hey, well, Wild Turtle should be fantastic in this meta because he's already a guy who can play Yasuo and Swain and all these champions because he's such a fantastic solo queue fill player, but has not really come together for them. And even when on some of these different picks, there have been really kind of basic mistakes and a lot of issues that have been plaguing this team and leaving them down towards the bottom of the standings.
And I'll give them some credit on their side, right? FlyQuest changed coaches at the beginning of this split. They changed 2 and now actually a 3rd player in this one as well. Now, of course, with JJ stepping in for Quan, which had started for the first few games this one. Santorin, of course, in for Onda as well. So FlyQuest definitely have been a story of them trying to find what exactly it is they do want to play. They've switched mid laners back and forth. Keen, of course, back in the starting lineup once again. And do have high hopes for them. I think they can turn it around, but you're right. 1-3, not a very impressive start, and even in that one win wasn't the most exciting. But now we'll see what happens up against Golden Guardians. We are into Champion Select. Aurelia Morgana off the table, and no Nocturne allowed for FlyQuest.
Yeah, Aurelia, a champion that Lorlo has been doing quite well on. In solo queue, he's really well known for Aurelia and Camille and these sorts of champions. Obviously doing very well on Camille against Echo Fox in the early stages, not able to carry that one, but we'll see where they want to go with this. Mickey, obviously, a player who has been fairly flexible. We have seen him play Yasuo in the bottom lane. We have seen him play standard mid lane stuff. Definitely being the recipient of a funnel game as well for Golden Guardians. So they definitely have a lot of flexibility that they can kind of bring out in the draft.
So we'll see as the draft moves on and we get through our final bans. 2 mid lane bans away from Keen, and the Nocturne, of course, away from Santorin as well. And a bit more varied of a scattering here on the FlyQuest side, as Aatrox will be first picked. Of course, highly prized champion right now in the North American LCS, still on 8.12, and Aatrox first picked here for Flame.
Yeah, going to be able to go for that first pick Aatrox, but Lorlo is a guy who can really play a lot of the carry champions that could answer this. Would not be surprised to see him bringing out something like the Fiora or the Renekton, trying to answer that well. We did see how well Jax can take over if you can get through those early stages, get ahead. So there definitely are answers, and Lorlo is the kind of player, I feel, that would be comfortable to bring it out.
I agree. I think that fits his sort of play style most sharply. There's the Braum plus Kai'Sa. Of course, that is flexible. That could be the mid-jungle duo or the bot support duo down on that side of the map, and it gives a lot of options open. I do want to see Fiora picked up before the second ban phase. Every time we've seen early Aatrox so far today, Fiora always made her way onto the ban list right there in that part of the draft. And because it's a high prize ban, I would actually like to see that taken away. Either way, we see FlyQuest side. They've got a Sejuani in the jungle most likely, and the Lucian. I'm expecting actually Wild Turtle in bot lane.
Yeah, definitely expecting that, but there is still potential of it being, some things that flexed around and more of a funnel. It's definitely looking more like a funnel strategy on Golden Guardian side. Even though Kai'Sa can be played bot, Kai'Sa Braum just has been such a consistently kind of funnel type draft that you are going for, and We could see Vladimir move mid. This to me would signify that Mickey would be playing bot on the Vladimir, definitely would be going mid for the Kai'Sa funnel, but it could still be standard, and that is one of the struggles that FlyQuest is going to have to deal with in this second ban phase. You know, where are these champions going? What sort of champions do we need to ban out and pick to really kind of answer what you're expecting them to do?
Yeah, Guardians played a funnel earlier. It was a Braum in the top lane. It was that Braum Kai'Sa, and they played Yasuo Alistair for their bot lane combo. Of course, it's going to be a different look if they do want to funnel, but we'll see what comes through. No Jax allowed, so you can see they're sort of going through the tier list. What would Lorlo play to try to beat up this Aatrox? And they know, yeah, he's probably going to play fighter into it. No Lulu here as they look for what FlyQuest might play to round out their lineup. They're looking at conventional but somewhat supportive mages off of Keith's pool.
Yeah, and taking away the Lulu, Lulu is often very highly prized against funnel compositions because the polymorph can be so incredibly effective. You put all this gold on one person, and then all of a sudden they're able to be kind of taken out of a team fight by that one spell, and can be considered very, very effective, not only against the Yi, but Kai'Sa and really any of the funnel strategies.
So another support mage off the table, Lulu and Karma, the two bans here, and this is of course 8.12, where we did see shielding getting nerfed and shielding items getting nerfed, still at least something that is threatening in pro play, as there is the Fiora and Jax ban off as well, and the picks for Lorlo dwindling slightly. We'll see what he wants to play into the Aatrox. The Heimerdinger hover, I feel like, would be atypical, but we'll wait to see what actually comes through here as they've got 13 more seconds to make their first pick here.
Yeah, we're not going to see a Heimerdinger, not with Vladimir and Kai'Sa already locked in.
Yeah.
Shen, though, makes some sense. You can play Shen up in the top lane, actually into the Aatrox if you want to kind of just play that more to gracefully lose or hopefully even kind of put that even. You also can actually look over, you know, at that Shen as a support. Shen in combination with the Vladimir for the bottom lane can be pretty effective.
All right, so Galio in the mid lane here for Keen. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Lucian into the bottom lane. And a Fiddlestick's picked up as well. That looks like Fiddle support, though, for JJ. Sejuani more likely to be a jungler than Fiddlestick's here this day and age. Of course, Fear can be really good against Vladimir. He jumps into the back line, you just push him away, and he can't finish the rest of his combo. That can be very strong indeed. Golden Guardians round up the lineup. The Shen is a bit of a flexible champion. Could be support, could be top. As it seems likely to be, again, a funnel Kai'Sa with a Braum quote-unquote jungle to kind of round out that one, and Malphite will be the pick to round out the lineup. So it is support Shen and Malphite in the top lane to score off against Aatrox, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
it should be Malphite top against the Aatrox. Malphite is very weak without levels, and generally that's why you don't want him to put him in a support role. Like, you're not going to be able to do much in that 2v2, so it will be Malphite up into the Aatrox on the top side. And Malphite works very well into a lot of these melee champions because of the E. The attack speed slow is incredibly strong there. You can very effectively itemize into the armor, but one of my concerns when I'm looking at a composition like this is, yes, you can stack armor, but it's a Sejuani that would be attacking you with a lot of magic damage and kind of percentage HP damage that can make it difficult for an armor stacking Malphite to actually stay alive. You also have to think, who else is going to come and affect this side lane? And it's going to be Galio, right? Galio looking to ult out to those side lanes, so we'll see A, how Lorlo is able to play it, and B, how he's going to itemize, because he could be getting attacked very, very heavily. His team is going to be funneling, and the other team is going to have the potential of not only the jungler coming up there, but the mid laner too.
Yeah, scary things to watch for here. So a split push victory for Flame and the Aatrox could be a great thing for him. He had a pretty good Darius game in their win last week, and maybe looks a little bit better up against this Malphite, and we'll see, of course, as you're right, magic damage does exist on this composition, and we'll wait to see what comes through. Looks like it's going to be that Kai'Sa funnel. Definitely does have Smite, of course, and Mickey's Vladimir has the TP. He'll be running to the bottom lane, most likely laning alongside Matt's Shen. And that'll be fun to watch for as the comps and the players scale into this game and load, and be ready to get ourselves onto the Rift once again. FlyQuest and Golden Guardians, two teams who had pretty lackluster spring splits. The Guardians had a much better start to the summer, could be at 3-2, and once again find themselves in a winning record for the second time in LCS history. And that'd be a pretty beautiful thing for them and their fans as we drop the base skates and we're ready to go into the game.
Gonna be pretty interested to watch how some of these side lanes go. We know definitely he's gonna get farm. We know he's gonna be scaling up, but I really want to see, can FlyQuest win these side lanes? Lucian plus Fiddlesticks should be in the advantage against a Shen plus Vladimir. If you're really on point with those fears, you know, fearing the Shen back, you know, silence on the Vladimir can be very disruptive as well. But at the same time, Fiddlesticks is very squishy, so if you actually, you know, miss position, if you mess up at all, you can potentially get caught. And Matt taunted over the wall. He's waiting for his taunt cooldown to come back up, but that is a long level 1 cooldown. So if JJ is still here in 5 seconds.
Oh! Outsmarted, and now he can taunt.
You can see him smiling about it. He's like, I knew.
And he even kept the ward alive.
Yeah, well done there by JJ, but I think that it's a nice try, really, from Golden Guardians, because if you get that, there's not that much cost. I mean, the risk is that everyone is kind of 5-stacked up there, but if you've seen multiple members across the map, you can get out, try to threaten those sorts of level 1s, that, hey, maybe you get a summoner, maybe you get a kill, or in this case, well, they got a ward out and didn't cost them.
Here we go with the red buff leash for Santorin. Not going to have any problems over there, as definitely in contract going to be duo jungling to grab the red buff and walk back into mid. Now, Galio does have some pretty decent wave clear. Early in the day, you were talking about Aurelion Sol being a good option as a champion that can shove in mid and try to maybe punish some of the absentee laning from champions. And I think Galio can do some of that as well. You saw that wave get pretty close to the turret, and they had to exit after the very first one. Of course, pretty easy to get all the CS when no one's against you on that Galio.
It can become a bit tough, though, for Galio when the members are actually in the lane, as far as Q does not do enough damage anymore to really clear it out by itself. You need to utilize your passive, you need to E through, and that's something that's very, very dangerous to actually try to do against the Braum plus the Kaisa. So, gonna be able to push it in, gonna go down on the bottom side for a scuttle.
Nice taunt lands, empowered E, pretty good damage to wild card. Oh, he never even flashed away from it, did not respect electrocute and the ignite. That is a huge oopsie.
Yeah, that is so disappointing there for FlyQuest. They draft this winning bottom lane, and as I said, the way the Golden Guardians can win this is with an all-in. They get caught by the taunt. It's not even a taunt flash or a flash taunt. He just
slowly walked up and up smashed, and it's like, Turtle, you've played against this kind of lane before. You know when level 2 happens in bot lane.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're gonna lose the level 2 push, you have to back off and respect their opponent's ability to all in you, and Turtle does not do that. This happened to him earlier in the split as well on Swain, kind of just wandering level 1, and FlyQuest gets level 3 on Santorin. But here it is one more time. So level 2, count the minions, you know it's coming.
It's level 2 right here, this minion.
Level 2 right there.
He just walks at him.
I mean, he just walked up to shoot him. He's about to hit level 2, and that's something that Turtle just cannot do. I mean, that is really a pretty unacceptable mistake at this level.
And it's something that we called out in the first couple weeks. Like, oh, these guys aren't used to playing Vladimir. They don't realize how squishy they are. But like, this is like one of Turtle's most played champions all time. He just like forgot how bot lane works. And yeah, that is a really rare and somewhat unexcusable mistake for this level of play. But we got to move past it now as we get back into this game of League of Legends as Flame tries to stop Lolo from farming. And right now, that farm difference is not very large.
Yeah, it's so tough now because you drafted for the solution and the fiddlesticks. You're supposed to have lane presence. You're supposed to have pressure and be bullying these guys. Now you've given over first blood. You're going to be very heavily down on farm. The first base will be so powerful for Golden Guardians, but FlyQuest up to the top side, looking to dive Lorlo.
Lorlo
not stacked yet for Flame.
Has the flash burn, then runs away for dear life. The chase for the slow. Here comes the chains through from Sejuani as well. That's going to be a stun. That's going to be the chase down. The kill almost comes through. Finally gets it Keen with the snap back. The W gets the second kill of the game.
Nicely done by Lorlo, though, forcing out 3 flashes, and taunted again here is JJ.
Really in pain, but now it's on the other side of the map. Is this going to be a Sejuani walking in? No contracts, dropping a trade on the other side of the map. I can't keep track of all of it, but FlyQuest so far 2-1 in that trade, and Matt on the chase down, runs away, flashing, running from Turtle to jump in, and Turtle gets himself a kill in that one, so a better fight on the bot side. FlyQuest suddenly went 4-1 overall.
Yeah, FlyQuest getting stuff all across the map, and Golden Guardians trying to fight again, but they hadn't even spent any of their early gold from that farm. Here it is one more time on the top side. Not the best execution of the dive. Lorlo sees them coming. He backs off early, does flash out of that knock up there from Flame, but the flash is slow to follow. So much has to be committed because of how far away they were. Keen even flashing in, and it's 3 flashes. Lorlo does go down, but then what does Contracts really think he's doing?
He wants to kill Flame with...
I mean, with what? You Q flash there. You don't even have Ignite. Did he think he had Ignite or something? I mean...
Didn't exhaust him.
Exactly. Like, even if you get that, what are you accomplishing? You're blowing 2 summoners to maybe trade your life and give over assist gold to the other team as well. So, very poor play there from Contracts. In this game, pretty messy stuff already. Turtle and JJ able to pick up a couple kills as the Golden Guardians bottom lane was focusing JJ, but you have to remember he has Aftershock. The Golden Guardians bottom lane had not purchased, so he was fairly durable, and it gave Turtle more than enough time to actually, free fire, get some kills, and now just like that, FlyQuest is back in the lane and up in the game.
And I really got to call this out because I don't think we've seen a ton of Fiddlesticks in NA right now. But yeah, Aftershock Fiddlesticks, you have a point-and-click way of turning it on. You terrify somebody, you get a ton of armor and MR. The base stats not really, really high. And you can see now Malphite zoned off the wave. And this is what we talked about in the previous game where you were talking about, which is the team with a jungler actually has license to get around the map and do things. Santorin putting so much pressure top. And this is a just slaughter in the top lane, more than double the CS. Flame is just hugely above Warlock.
And this is what I was missing from Lyra. You know, and that's why I was so disappointed with how Lyra actually played in the last game. You know, all you have to do, you don't even have to dive the guy. You just walk into the lane, you say hello, and well, I guess I gotta leave now. There's no chance of it gonna be a counter gank. You know you will get dove if you just stay there and let them actually prep the dive perfectly. So you're left with no options as a top laner besides A, dying or B, losing farm, and both suck. So.
Yep. This is why you're on the caster desk, because the dive wouldn't be the same without you, Azale. And a 700 gold lead puts FlyQuest ahead as the spot lane is still getting... Huh?
I'll give you an 8.
An 8?
Pretty good for you. That's the highest you've ever gotten.
I agree. That's higher than I can even count, which is great. So hopefully it's a high number. I'm not really even sure anymore.
There you go.
All right, well, FlyQuest looking pretty solid here in this one. Again, top lane lead's pretty nice. Looking quickly at the Kai'Sa gold. 2,700 is barely more than Keen's Galio has because of the kill and assist he got. So far this funnel not getting off the ground yet, but much more league to be played.
Yeah, definitely a lot of game to play. And you have to say, you know, if there is a champion to be behind, Malphite is probably it, right? You know, you can have essentially no items on a Malphite. You still have your ultimate. You still do have that assistance for the rest of your squad because you're going to have the Kai'Sa that is going to be funneled up. You're going to have Nikki on this Vladimir. So if you can actually set them up to deal the damage, it will be effective. The real danger, though, comes in the 1v1 because, you know, he is put so far behind in the farm, all the jungle and even the mid lane attention means that this turret is now just going to be going down. Loyal realizes he can't actually defend it without dying, so he's just going to have to go back to base. It's going to be solo first turret gold going over to Flame, plus all the additional farm, plus the kill and the assist, and that individual gold lead can get to a point where you're just getting dove 1v1.
Yeah, and Flame is 500 gold up against the funnel as well, so he is hugely just the leader of this game right now, and Aatrox to make his stamp on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4K gold to like 2,100 essentially, right? He's basically doubling his opponent's gold, or at least close enough that it makes no difference, and that becomes so tough because Aatrox, from a massive lead, really is one of the best champions in the game at actually, you know, pulling off those dives because of the Bloodwell passive. You proc the passive, you pull off the dive, you go down, but then you come right back up with that res. And pretty surprised to actually see the Merc Treads rush here when I don't think there's going to be very much attention, but maybe he's getting concerned about, okay, well, Matt is going to maybe be up here, or contracts come up here, and you have to worry about that CC. Yeah. But personally, I feel like in situations like this, when you're that far ahead in the 1v1, you should just be building for damage and just building to actually kill your opponent.
Yeah, I wonder. It's definitely interesting to think about because I do like Boots 2 pretty early. I think move speed is a generally undercosted stat, so the faster you can get your move speed, the better. And with his lane unlocked,
so expensive.
It is. I mean, sure, you're spending a lot of money. I do like the fact that he at least has mobility, though. I agree. It's definitely at the very least a fight of resources, what you really, really want to have. He's kind of choosing to go, yep, I want to be not locked down. I want to get around the map. Maybe we'll see him roam more, maybe get to the mid lane or something. And yeah, we'll see what he does. But you're right, he did not buy more damage, so his killing power is definitely lower.
And if you can actually make that work, you know, it's not wrong. It's just a different strategy. As you say, if you can make the move speed work, if you can get around the map, if you don't, maybe you're in these skirmishes earlier on with the TP bot lane, and that can be where you're getting a lot of value out. But like, I always look at it as Merc Treads are almost a phage, right? In phage, it is move speed on the proc, is a lot of kind of 1v1ing potential, and that's the trade-offs you're always having to consider, and we'll just see if the choice that he has made is going to pay off.
Well, right now it's just been putting Willow under the turret, who's trying to selflessly farm as best he can back at tier 2. Meanwhile, Golden Guardians actually get some time with Mountain Drake. Now, not the most effective from the team that's behind to actually hit Baron or hit turret for it to matter, and right now Guardians aren't in much of a place to do that, but over time maybe that will come through as Definitely and Contracts pick that one up. Of course, the normal jungler secures it. A superior player and all that, of course, props Contracts.
Yeah, and this is going to be a bit of a different build than we actually saw last time. You know, from Cody Sun, he actually skipped his jungle item completely on the Xayah, obviously a different champion, but this is going to be a jungle item at least to start off here from Deathly, and he's going to be rushing that on the Kai'Sa, likely going to pick up a Rage Blade second, but I always really do think that there's a ton of value, not only in the stat efficiency of the item, but in the challenging smite itself, when you are a champion especially who's looking to dive deep into these fights, if you want to get back there on a turtle, it really does make that duel an unfair fight. It's almost like, you have a mini exhaust on a fairly short cooldown.
Yeah, it's like half an exhaust and a third of an ignite on top of it. It's actually pretty nice. I actually did see when Sneaky was playing Kai'Sa Funnel, he actually went Runic Echoes in one of his Kai'Sa games. And that's, I think, a math problem, actually, because AP, of course, is directly on hit damage for the champion. Something that I'll probably spend more time looking at in the future. But it's actually kind of fun seeing different builds, even on the same kind of champion.
Yeah, it is really interesting. And it's there is obviously an element of just pure DPS, but then also for a lot of these marksman players, playing with attack speed just feels so damn good, and the ability to actually be able to kind of kite out more effectively with higher attack speed can come into play when the players have such high mechanical ability.
Absolutely right here. So you step back into the game, though, and what everyone's doing right now, and just wave clear back and forth. The gold lead actually now massive for FlyQuest, more than 2,000, and that is quite the balloon right here. Is so far, Flame is not, getting a lot done. As you mentioned, the Merc Treads maybe not getting him quite the bully status you might want. He's certainly not done much more than trade farm back and forth against this Malphite. But maybe he can get around the map. We'll see as he puts the control ward down and looks for his next little play. This time around, he's actually going to be behind his opponent, so maybe some damage gets done here. Doesn't quite land the slow, actually, as Lorlo turns to the side, and he goes back for the minion.
Yeah, and it's just kind of starting to stabilize. Hasn't gotten much done with those Merc Treads, but obviously it's not the end-all, be-all. It's not going to completely decide this game or anything. And definitely, with this early attack speed buy, has already upgraded his team. So he's going to have the invisibility on that supercharger, which is really powerful for these skirmishes, but he's still going to have to be so careful because there's such a tremendous amount of CC on the team of FlyQuest that if you misposition at all, you can very easily get crowd control pulled to zero. I mean, not only the knock up here from Flame, but so much CC out of really everyone except Evolution. Like, there's potential to lock you down fully if you ever dive in.
And looking now at the mid lane, actually, the turret getting pretty low. I do feel like with a little bit of effort spent, that Rip Throw Charge will be enough to kill the turret off. Contract's trying to defend what he can. A few auto attacks would be enough to make this happen. Flame coming down as well. There's the charge, and is the auto going to be quite enough, though? Is it going to be stunned pretty soon? And the swipe isn't enough. Yeah, no one was really felt safe enough to walk up to the turret, but that was a 4v2. It's not like Golden Guardians would have really, I think, gotten a kill off someone, but they'll try next wave maybe.
You always have to respect the fact that Shen has the ultimate Malphite TP in, and they're going to get it now.
Yeah, they're going to go for the dive off that turret. It was a nice bait, actually. I really respect that out of FlyQuest. Now, definitely, his days are numbered. The 2 kills come through, and this is going to be a bit of a surround. But 5 versus 3, how good can it even look as Mickey wants to get forward? Gets Hemo Plague on. This could be Santorin going down. Good. A taunt and ignite, a lot of damage. They're going to pick up one and looking for a little bit more now as a team just joins into the fray. A huge Malphite comes across, hoping to turn things around. Golden Guardians, no, it's going to be Keen picking up the kill onto Shen. As now it's Mickey forced to run away. A 4th kill into this. Only Lorlo stands alive. FlyQuest winning more of it.
So much crowd control coming out there onto Mickey. He had that super powered Q charged up. He gets feared on it, then silenced, then taunted. There's so much crowd control coming through, and FlyQuest getting those early kills, able to convert on so much. Not only do they get the kills, not only do they get the turret, Shen ult comes through. So many cooldowns were used here from Golden Guardians, and this is very greedy, trying to defend that with the turret having essentially 1 auto of health. Dies through that Stand United, definitely then using the ultimate to try to get out, and the flash, he can't get out either, so a lot expended. And then Mickey here looking like he would be able to perhaps finish off some of these kills, but look at all the CC. Right into the taunt, flash feared, into a silence. That super powerful Q expires. Mickey gets too low from all of that and really has to back off.
Yeah, there's a mechanical drop as well. I think from definitely when he did ult, he ulted in place. I think he could have built a couple 100 units more distance and maybe could have gotten him out. Either way, though, yeah, a couple of foibles here, though. Golden Guardians losing a little bit more than they might like here in this map. Pretty standard pickups, though, for Mickey's. He's finally got his Spellbinder's Orb. Yep, finally remembering the name on that one. As the scaling continues on, Keen building towards being a bit tanky, going towards what looks like Adaptive Helm, coming after his Rod of Ages, and just the team trying to defend against mostly magic damage here. I mean, it's going to almost certainly be an AP Kai'Sa build you have to expect.
Yeah, very, very likely. We have seen teams kind of do some adjustments, though, when they get too focused on one type of damage source.
Yeah.
Stixxay, last week we were talking about this, and because his team was essentially all magic, he was playing Varus, and he just went for the old build with IE, with Hurricane, and these sorts of things to do more heavily physical damage.
Yeah.
To kind of force some of that itemization to come out, because Otherwise, as you say, I mean, there's already a cowl done for Keen. He could be going Spirit Visage because he has Spirit Visage coming up from Santorin. You can see, Maw coming out from Wild Turtle and all these sorts of things where you allow your opponents to have such ridiculously efficient itemization that the gold is essentially worth even more than what it shows on the scoreboard.
Exactly. It's just purely efficient against these champions. That could be rough. Thankfully for Definitely, at least Blood Razor is a physical damage on hit, and you can, of course, easily go Ruin King third if you wanted to, and skip the whole AP portion of the build. So maybe something we actually see come through on this one. Wait to be seen, though, what comes through. 6,000 gold difference, and FlyQuest ready for the Ocean Drake on respawn. For a team that barely squeaked out one win, they are looking a whole lot better today. That 1-3 storyline looking to be doubling the win column as they are quite solidly ahead in this game, and we'll see if they can keep that pressure on.
And the funny thing is, like, how well it actually started for Golden Guardians. So getting that kill in the 2v2.
Yeah.
They had an advantage in a lane where they shouldn't have. And then really, some pretty careless mistakes from Golden Guardians gave FlyQuest the lead, and they ran with that. And I have to give a lot of credit also to Santorin and to Keen for pressuring Lorlo in that top lane so heavily, something we did not see last game from Lyra and Clutch as they were playing against the funnel. It seems like FlyQuest has a good grasp on how to play against funnel. You attack where they are not.
Done that pretty well so far, and they're going to look now at the bottom lane turret as no one's really here to defend that one either. You can see how far back Vladimir's playing. The wave root is not strong. You have to be in range of getting killed if you want to do that, and that's going to be another turret falling 4-0 in turrets. Guardians have only really picked up kills and a not very useful Drake so far in this one. Now mid lane under a bit of fire as they just rotate the team around. And again, who's going to defend this? They're not even going to auto-attack. Keeney threatens the flash off the taunt, and again, it's now about 1/4 health off that turret as a pretty easy disengage comes through. A few more of those, and that's going to fall.
Yeah, it is getting chipped down there, and this also gets more frustrating because Flame is so strong. He kind of gets jungle control. They lose the vision around there, and this means less gold into your funnel, more gold into the pockets here of Flame, and really kind of helps to disable this strategy. FlyQuest really is playing an intelligent game, but we have seen a lot of holes in their play. We have seen them not always be able to close out with advantages and really kind of know what those next steps are. So we have to track how effective are they going to be from this advantageous position.
Wow, so far quite effective as the items slowly trickle in for their opponents, but 7,000 gold ahead for FlyQuest feels pretty great. There is the adaptive helm done. There's Matt now trying to play for a little bit of vision, trying to make sure that something can go the way of Golden Guardians. And it's going to be, of course, a pretty long road ahead. Santorin clears away some more of the jungle. We look for the next point of action. Baron Asher in 145. A little bit slow, potentially, on the FlyQuest side. I mean, they have pretty decent damage with the Lucian and the Aatrox, but I have to watch out for what Golden Guardians can do to stab them with a big team fight. Vladimir now looking for the flank onto Flame, and 5 versus 1. Good luck, buddy. Gonna jump in a little bit of this one. We'll get the revive up, but that's gonna be the resurrect. Okay. Now for round 2, as that's gonna be him dropping down, and definitely the most crucial of champions does get the kill onto that. Wild Turtle gonna go for top lane. Tier 2 should get that
and
one.
Mid lane as well. So this is a huge play from Golden Guardians, sending 5 members bot, but you have to think about how much are you giving up, right? And they're gonna drop 2 turrets for the 1 and the kill, but sometimes when you are behind, you have to kind of take these disadvantageous trades, and committing to something is better than losing everywhere slowly anyway, so we'll see how it works out in the long run.
And that was, of course, the value of FlyQuest playing as many of their lanes aggressively as they could to get the waves pushed because, hey, they were already in position to knock some structures down, but at least something on the scoreboard. 7.5 still the gold deficit. Golden Guardians have a lot to work back from as they slowly build for it. But that's a stinger for Deftly, so unless that's a Trinity Force, which I highly doubt, it is still going to be AP Kaisa, which just means that Adaptive Helm, incredibly efficient for Keen.
Will be, and Flame getting stronger and stronger, working towards that Rage Blade. Won't be too far off now, and you can see, I think FlyQuest really do kind of have the strategy of just splitting the map, putting Flame in a side lane, and as you said, their Baron really is not that fast, but one of the things they really do have is incredible turn, right? If you can start up the Baron, if you have vision control, the Fiddlesticks can be ulting in on top of your team from anywhere. The Galio following that up is incredibly powerful, and Sejuani also has some strong follow-up. So yes, they're not going to just burn it down, but they can kill you if you come to stop them.
It's a great play to put in your playbook then. Just start the Baron, make them fight you, and despite the one team being the Malphite squad, you still go in with your Sejuani or something else, and life can get difficult really, really fast. Golden Guardian sending Mickey up at the top side. Pretty quick wave here. You're going to see that Wild Turtle playing this one defensively. He saw the 5-man death spots before. Even though Aatrox is pushing the ones that have map, if he wants to respect what a dive could be.
And the fact that he has no magic resist, even if he is ahead in gold, Vladimir can still one combo you with the proper setups. You have to really be respectful in that 1v1. You are still going up against this really powerful mage who can take you down.
There we go. Scuttle Crab goes away. FlyQuest going to start playing around this Baron side of the map as Scuttle gets that one without too many issues. There we go. 140 gold onto him. And we'll see if the Baron setups start happening. FlyQuest, with how they've been playing somewhat safely on the waves, might very well be playing for this neutral as their way into the game. Or in the way into closing, I should say. Deathcap is not too far away from Vladimir, though. 800 gold about. Until they can get that combined, that'll be an absolutely huge power spike, but it's going to be several minutes till that comes online.
And this is kind of the new style of Vladimir. You know, it's always very well documented. Everyone's talking about, oh, well, you need CDR for Vladimir to really get strong. It's all about spell rotations. Now the new style is kind of just going, it turns out you don't need lots of
JJ face checks the ward, though, knocked into the air, and even with the Galio coming in, it's not going to be enough. 5v4, but the re-engage could be good. A huge taunt in the backline, and it's time for follow-through. 3 quick kills. JJ always knew it was going to happen. He's the mastermind. Lorlo pops his stopwatch, and he's still going to drop down. A triple kill for the Galio. On towards the base they go.
Yeah, they're just going to get an inhibitor here. FlyQuest going to march it down. Baited and outsmarted there for JJ. Will be the inhibitor.
The best zero damage team fight Fiddlesticks we've ever seen. They're going to leave Keen to deal some turret damage right now, and there goes the squad. This is going to be a zero contest Baron. This gold lead going to be well above 10,000.
Yeah, just deciding to actually knock down the turret. Will back off. Not wanting to go for the inhibitor just yet, knowing they can come back with this Baron buff, with Flame. You know, being so strong in that side lane, it's going to be incredibly difficult for Lorlo to really hold him without a turret to help that out. And another good play here from FlyQuest, actually looking very, very clean in this game.
Really some good plays out of them. 6-0 and 4 in this Galio. He is actually massive. Watch that fight again as Ace of Predator replay comes in. JJ just like walks into people.
Yeah, comes over the wall here and just face checks, but a lot is actually expended on him. Galio taunting up everyone. 4 members there, Flame flying in. All of the CC really being showcased, and despite the fact that they got the early kill, it is just the Fiddlesticks support. It took you a while to do it, and the rest of these members are so, so strong. Really a fantastic team fight for Keen, who has had a strong game, and again, really looking at like the brightest spot here on FlyQuest.
And I like that he moved his build a little bit to the side and picked up Morellonomicon, so he has some healing reduction for the Vladimir at some points in this fight. I think almost regardless of what he built, like he could go Infinity Edge right now and they probably still win no matter what because of the lead they've got. But I think this is a split where I've seen a lot of really intelligent itemization from players kind of across various different teams. And it's been cool to see. People are valuing healing reduction a lot more with Vladimir and Mundo being popular and Aatrox and all that. And now it's time for FlyQuest to make the sort of nails land in the coffin.
Yeah, you're just going to have to slowly push it in on all sides. Allow those Baron minions to do their work. Allow Aatrox to get that isolation time against Lorlo. And really the only hope here for Golden Guardians is maybe if everyone stacks up from FlyQuest 5-man Malphite ultimate, but yeah, that's about it.
Malphite Vlad and just Kaisa follows up somehow. You pick off Fiddlesticks by himself, and then you get to follow through afterwards, and your ultimates are back. I don't know, but
yeah, but I mean, you're getting to such like ridiculous amounts of mistakes that it takes for them to come back that it is almost impossible. They are down, 2 inhibitors, and yes, if you can make this game go another 30 minutes, then sure, your composition is going to be good. You're going to come online, and Kaisa maybe can take over, but FlyQuest has such an easy way to close this out with split push advantage, with the fact that they're up an enormous amount of gold, and still have the Baron buff for a minute 30. Yeah,
the Baron's on long enough with double inhibitors down already. Mid and top going to pressure for free, and you've got the easy 5-man siege in the bottom lane. This is as paint by numbers you can get. Even I could shot call this one to victory.
And that's saying something.
That is saying something. We've played together. You know how bad I am at this game. And yeah, worse than everyone on stage by far. Well, on to the bot lane inhibitor soon.
All right, so FlyQuest looking to close this one out, allow the super minions that are already pushing it mid to get up there. Someone will have to respond, and Golden Guardian's only chance, if you're playing to win, you engage immediately. That is your only hope. If they back off, they're ceding the victory.
50 seconds on the Baron buff. If somehow this turret stays alive through that minute, maybe they get to turtle for a little bit longer, but I think you're right. I think also the call is go for the hard dive, try to find something, Flame a little bit off to the side. Maybe you go for the hard engage when he's a little bit isolated off the turret. I don't know, but that cannon man, he's still shooting down.
I mean,
and no one's stopping it.
It's the less than 1% play to hard engage, but I think that is better than what you get otherwise. The super minions are stacking up huge in the top lane. If you wait, you have no chance to do anything, and they are going to back off, and that is basically guaranteeing their fate here with Super Minions going to be coming in from all sides.
Oh, 15 seconds on Baron buff. Supers, as you're mentioning, coming in from everywhere as they hope to keep their Nexus turrets alive, but FlyQuest not keen on stopping despite some of the player names here as Golden Guardians are split across as now it's time for turret damage to come through. And where can Mickey and co find their inroads? Right now it's not anywhere just yet. The turret's still under fire and no one is pressing the buttons and the team is spread out as well. Malphite cannot get a multiple person knockup. Finally goes on to only Galio, the worst possible target. The taunt is in, Matt's likely to go down. Galio slams into the earth and 1 kill picked up so far already. The Crowstorm coming across as well. A little bit of damage to the back lines. The turrets are falling and so are the members of Golden Guardians. Flame to revive. Gonna look for the re-engage to him. Not gonna get that one either. And it's time for the Nexus to drop as damage comes back and forth. Look at those last couple of kills. They want to pad the KDA. They don't really even need to. FlyQuest gonna walk this one into the base. The final shots come through. GG doubling the wins. FlyQuest.
Yeah, and we were talking a lot about how strong Golden Guardians had been in this summer split, how FlyQuest had been struggling, but they're now tied in the standings, 2 and 3 apiece, and FlyQuest had a very strong game. The blemish in the bot lane, giving up that first blood, certainly a mistake from Turtle, but the team played very well around that, able to get 2 kills in the bottom lane shortly thereafter. The top lane pressure, I think, was so incredibly key from FlyQuest to dismantle this funnel strategy. Lorlo, getting pressured off his turret, losing that first turret so incredibly early, and Aatrox did an incredible amount of work in this game.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Just huge, huge damage numbers. Almost 16,000, doubled anyone else on the opposing team, and nearly doubled any of his teammates. Keen had a pretty good game himself as well. Those two, the solos, did incredibly well. And as you mentioned, it was what you expected to see to play against a funnel strategy, right? Get your mid laner out of the lane, get your jungler out of the jungle, go pressure one of those side lanes that cannot be mirrored nearly as easily, and that is what happened. They're smiling at the damage guys like, hey, Flame, look what you did. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty good at League of Legends. Thank you for picking me, Aatrox. Although I guess actually, he picked himself Aatrox. He was first pick. He's like, I got this, don't worry. And he was right about that one. Beautiful stuff there. So yeah, finally starting to see good things out of FlyQuest because I think this team could have easily been 0-4 starting the day. Their win against Optic was, I think, a throw. And so it was like, okay, well, this team looks like the worst in NA, but they looked really good here today. Even after Turtle made that mistake in the bottom lane, they still fired back. They played it well strategically. Again, that top lane focus you're talking about, that went well, and it snowballed out from there.
Yeah, and they did a really good job of not only just getting these individual leads, but actually playing out the game very intelligently, finding picks, knowing where to go with their advantages and how to actually close it out was certainly impressive. And now it's not them in last place. It's actually Cloud9 sitting 1-4 in last place. Sole possession of that, I do believe.
Yeah, those are the only 2 one-win teams coming into this one. We've got Team Liquid alone in first and Cloud9 alone in last. And for sure, by the way, because C9, of course, have already played today. And that is not, I think, a stat that many may have expected. Sort of, maybe the Liquid one you kind of expect. They were the reigning NA champions. But yeah, Cloud9, the experiment so far, not looking so great for them. Of course, we can talk about them at a later point. It's about, I guess, FlyQuest resurgence. And this is one game where they played the smarter game. We'll see if they can do that more. Of course, they're going to be playing tomorrow as well. Counterlogic Gaming going to be that opponent. And for now, we're going to send it down to Avali and FlyQuest, wielder of the Darkened Blade.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Flame and Joanne. Congratulations on that victory. Now, early on in that game, there was a lot of chaos where you guys ended up picking up kills across the map. How confident were you guys after that happened?
First thing, I'm really excited to win. Also, we really hesitate to about Big Ben today because we prepared a lot of strategies. So we just picked Aatrox composition and we did well as practice, and I thought we won.
Now you guys are picking up your second win with that. What do you think is keeping FlyQuest back from performing to maybe your best state? What is keeping FlyQuest back from performing?
Especially this week, we just followed our practice result. Also, our practice was best in this season. This week practice was our best for us. So we just trust each other and we just trust Scream result.
Well, the practice showed because FlyQuest looked really good this week. What made your practice so great?
We have a lot of things, but also we changed our support, and JJ is I think JJ is really friendly and he made better atmosphere, and also he played well. I think they make also better team, both.
Well, congratulations again on your win, and thank you so much. And for more on the game, let's hear from the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Avali. A 26-minute victory here for FlyQuest, who was sitting at the bottom of the table at 1-3, now moving to 2-3, tying up with the Golden Guardians. But the entire league topsy-turvy right now. You got Golden Guardians beating Team Liquid in 22 minutes. You got Team Liquid beating Echo Fox in 22 minutes. And then you got FlyQuest beating Golden Guardians in 26 minutes. All kinds of craziness. And as Flame pointed out, this time around, they came in with a very specific plan around that Aatrox in the top lane, and it worked out.
It feels very dependent week to week on how people's practice go. When, 100 Thieves started poorly at the start of the split, they had said, oh, we had a great week of practice. In week 2, they suddenly look really good. Same thing here with FlyQuest. Sounds like they came in a little unsure of what they want to do, but now as practice gets better, they are starting to pick up more wins.
And Jat, well, FlyQuest did pick up this win. Golden Guardians did not look good, not nearly as good as they had looked in the first 2 weeks of this summer split.
Yeah, I'm not having a very hopeful day for teams that I thought were going to win here. Like Golden Guardians, I felt like very easily could have been 3-1 after their games, and here they go for a funnel strategy. This is somewhat expected. You're going to get dove. Lorlo tried to get away. At least he managed to get 3 flashes out of the opponent. That actually is probably a positive play for Golden Guardians until this, where Contracts tries a Q flash, it's negated by Nullifying Orb, so it looks like it does absolutely nothing.
No damage.
But even if the Nullifying Orb's not there, it's not going to kill him. You're flashing for it. There's still 3 people there. You make that dive worth it by doing that play.
Right.
And that was kind of one of many mistakes.
Exactly, and that's some of those, those are more akin to the mistakes we saw from this squad in spring, right? Where they were making moves they don't need to move, perhaps overreaching in some areas rather than another. I want to take a look at one other play. Mark, this one, I know that you had some thoughts on it as well. In the mid lane, Golden Guardians here, defending against the Rift Herald. Let's take a look.
Yeah, and they don't do too bad of a job. Rift Herald gets her 1 charge off, and then they make sure to kill it right before it drops. But at this point, after that one last attack comes in, that thing has no HP on it, and it's better to not even assume that turret is really anything. So they're going to continue trying to wave clear in this kind of 2v2, 2v3 situation, but you need to pretend the turret is not there. Like, imagine that this is their positioning in a laning phase.
Looks a lot worse all of a sudden, Mark.
Yeah, they're way out of position against a Galio with flash. So you put the turret back in and you say, oh, look, they're protected, but they're really not. They just completely ignore the turret. There's that flash Galio taunt that they've been in range of for the last 10 seconds, and then they just follow up with a dive because the turret dropped 1 auto attack from Sejuani, and then it gets worse from there. They get these 2 kills, and on the way out, Golden Guardians tried to punish yet again and gave up more kills, and that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, or I guess the gigantic load that broke the camel's back.
Right, I mean, and it's crazy to think that was only 13 minutes into the game that we're saying it was one of the bigger game-losing moments there for Golden Guardians. Overall, though, such a quick game, such an explosive game. FlyQuest is going to feel good about it. I mean, I think you talk about a feel-good win for a team that was sitting in last place.
Dude, they're 2-3. Freak mentioned it, that he was expecting them to probably 0-4 since Optic was in position to win beforehand. And now they're not even the team in last place. Cloud9 actually is 1-4, alone in last. So there's still so much league to play. And as you mentioned right at the top of this segment, from day to day, from week to week, teams seem very different. And that has to do with what strategies they're practicing, how practiced the opponent is against it. They went up against a funnel today, which Golden Guardians ran last week, but they were very ready to execute against it. And Golden Guardians definitely didn't show the comfort, especially from Contracts Braum. So these are the types of mistakes that are still happening right now that I hope get ironed out as the split progresses. But it's very clear there's some raw strategies coming to stage.
Now, Mark, this could be a correlation, causation kind of an argument here. But now today we have seen the funnel composition that decided to put their jungler in the supportive role next to that funneled carry lose in their games, as opposed to the one game where the actual support player supported that funnel.
Yeah, and it's hard to say, like, you never want to read too far into it. Matt obviously still played well in the bot lane. They got that first blood before the next all-in attempt got turned around on them. But Contracts flash forward Q on Braum. I just don't see a real support player who that's their main role making that play.
Right.
And that mistake is kind of what started this downhill snowball for them. So I'm still preferring, if it's going to be a marksman funnel, you actually just pair them with their support. The pathing on it, while there's a lot to maximize with it, it's not as hard to still be relatively efficient and then have a player who's more comfortable on the champion backing up that marksman.
All right, just some thoughts No, necessarily definitive
Never
statements
put your
being-
jungler in the jungle in a
definitive
funnel
statements being made
strat.
there. All right, we've got one more game coming up. Tune in after the break to see if Optic or Counterlogic Gaming can end the day with a win.
I'm pushing top, pushing top.
Yeah.
There's a
Go me. Go me.
You can fight,
You guys can fight. Get Shen first.
back,
Shen flashed out.
Yo.
Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa.
Malphite.
Push top and hip. Yeah. Nice, really good job.
The sub above difference is substantial. After all, the giant got its name for a reason. It ain't little. Jersey Mites. Be a sub above.